Welcome back. Accompanied by His Excellency Minister of Communications and Dr. Amr Talat, His Excellency Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli visited the City of Knowledge as he was briefed on the latest developments of the city and efforts exerted by the ministry to pave the way for new developments and a new upgrade to turn Egypt into a digitally transformed country, to also update the services introduced to the citizens and to increase the competitiveness in this very important, vivid sector. To shed more light on the issue and to know more about the City of Knowledge, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone Associate Professor Abdel Sharkawy of the National Academy of Information Technology for Persons with Disabilities at the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology. Professor Sharkawy, thank you very much for being with us, sir, and a very good morning.
Good morning to you, and thank you for having me on the show today.
And before going into details, sir, let's know more about the City of Knowledge.
Actually, the Knowledge City, it's located at the new administrative capital. It is instituted by the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology. It's a technology park indeed. So it's formed of multiple entities. It's a whole integrated ecosystem. We do have Egypt University of Informatics. We do have training entities, affiliates to the ministry, ITI and NTI. And we do, as part of the ecosystem, we do have innovation centers, or excellence centers, if you wish. And part of the excellence centers is NAID. So NAID is the abbreviation of the National Academy of Information Technology for Persons with Disabilities. And we also do have other affiliates as ITIDA to encourage the ICT industry at large and support the ICT industry at large.
Here we're talking about also a university, an academy for training, for qualifying cadres, from all age categories. I can say that this clearly, and also to modify whenever we are on the road our techniques, our efforts to make sure that we are doing the utmost efforts to be on top of this field and to make sure that digital transformation is on the right track. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Actually, what you said indeed is in scope, but we actually are going further than this. So our vision as NAID, and this is part of the ecosystem, is to support the localization of the assistive technology industry via innovation, development, and let me shed the light a little bit on what does this mean. So the assistive technology is any technology that supports persons with disabilities. So when we are talking about assistive technologies or ICT tools that come into support for persons with disabilities, we're also talking about early prediction, early diagnosis, early intervention, rehabilitation. We're talking about assistive tools, whether they are hardware, software, and we're also talking about accessible content as well as accessible sports. So this actually comes in conjunction with the international directions. And if you wish, there has been a report in late or in the second half of 2022 about the global. It's called the Global Assistive Technology Report, and this was released by the UNICEF and the WHO. And the reason why is this very important is because there is a large sector or a considerable sector of the population who are in need of those assistive tools. So if we're talking just about persons with disabilities, we're talking about worldwide almost 1 billion citizens. If we're talking about other segments of the population, we're talking about elderly, children, we're talking about more citizens indeed.
All age categories and from all society sects or society classes, by the way. And I'm all the time saying that if you want to measure or if you want to know if this society is that much civilized or no, see how this society is dealing with people with special needs or with people with determinations. But of course, there are obstacles on the way. What are the most important obstacles on the way and the efforts exerted to eliminate them?
Okay, as you know that ICT or information technology is or the digital transformation is becoming a common factor in every discipline of our lives right now.
Sure.
So for persons with disabilities, this is an enabling. So this helps in their inclusion, in their enabling, and also to achieve independence. So having those tools or technologies available and affordable, this is a challenge. And
Sure.
this is where the vision of the country, if you wish, and in support of this vision is the effort of the MCIT or the ministry via NAID, is to encourage an ecosystem to support this inclusion via using ICT tools, via research, innovation, as well as
and via data governance, if you permit me to say, because if you do have the data, you have the world. Tell me about the database we have.
Okay, the database for, let me a little bit understand the question here. So what do you mean by the database? The database for the persons with disabilities?
Yeah?
Okay, the database is actually, there is something, this is another effort, and this is mainly, MOST or the Ministry of Social Solidarity is mainly concerned by that. Actually, there is a lot of collaboration in this effort, and this database is going to be complete via something called, or a card for the services for persons with disabilities.
Mm.
So our the estimates that are there, if we are going to go conservative estimates, we are talking about at least 10% of the population. So we're talking about a very considerable number.
Yeah.
Let me just shed also another thought here. Is
Sure.
that if we're just talking about 10% of the population, we're talking about 10 million people who are or maybe classified under this umbrella.
Mm.
And if we're not just talking about them, we're talking about them and their families who are going to be affected by them. So they actually represent a huge force in terms of the economy and the workforce itself. So this is why the country is very much concerned for their inclusion in all aspects of life, whether education, workforce, health sector. And our role here is to enable their inclusion or help in enabling their inclusion. We are not only the only entity, we are actually working in integration with multiple sectors via trying to localize the assistive technology industry. So let me tell you a little bit how we are trying to do that. And
Sure.
this actually comes with your introduction to His Excellency's visit to the Knowledge City. And we were really honored that the Prime Minister and the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology, we had the honor for them to come and visit NAID because our building in the Knowledge City represents a true excellence center and an ecosystem to support those activities. So we do have a consortium of how do we do that? We do have a consortium of very advanced labs, whether they are R&D labs, they are practical labs, training labs. We do have incubation and acceleration spaces. And why are we doing that? We're doing that because we want to encourage and support the different phases from early prototyping for the assistive technologies to advanced pre-industrial models. Mm-hmm. This is not a very simple industry. It requires a lot of disciplines, technical disciplines, if you wish, and it goes through multiple phases. from design to modeling and computation simulations to fabrication of prototypes. Also very important is testing and measurements, because those technologies, they need to follow or to strictly even follow standards and to be licensed. So in order to have an environment to encourage and to support such activities, this is why we instituted the Excellence Center at NAID. And also, we are actually a metaverse, if you wish, ready facility to support accessible content.
And so, I can easily say that what you're talking about, sir, is the fruitful result of integrated efforts between the public and private sector. True?
Yes, that is true, because as we have been following, that the government has been encouraging the industry, and the industry via the private sector. Mm-hmm. So obviously, the beneficiaries from such or from this environment, they're going to be researchers, students, whether from public, private universities, also the SMEs or the small and medium enterprises. Mm-hmm. They're going to be beneficiaries from this environment. Actually, we do have plans, and we work on having two main programs to support activities, whether we work on the industrial track with the different phases from the pre-incubation, incubation, acceleration, as well as the academic track, and we encourage the partnership between academia and industry.
The market, I mean, these are things which should be on top of our priorities. It's not only research, it's not only studies, but to implement these research or those studies on the ground to make sure that we are really introducing the best service to our people. Well, sir, this is a very important topic, and I'm going to leave you with a promise to have you here in person, to be our guest live here in the studio, to speak in more details about our efforts exerted to serve this very important category of our society, people with determination. Promise?
My pleasure indeed, and thank you very much for having me today, and I look forward to
join us here, inshallah, on Nile TV International screen. We were very much delighted and honored to have with us via phone Associate Professor Abdel Monem Sharkawy, Chairperson of the National Academy of Information Technology for Persons with Disabilities at the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology. By this, we come to the end of our episode. Stay tuned on Nile TV International always for more. Many thanks for watching. This was Nermeen Abdurrahman.